Okay, so this is a recording or reading for an additional reading for uh I'm just gonna say his name, Carl. And I'm just gonna what I'm gonna focus on is on your I'm gonna talk directly to you. Your North Node. Okay. So I'm just gonna open the file here. Hopefully this doesn't get cut off. I'm recording it and the last recording I did was cut off in the middle and I don't know how that happened. But yeah, Uranus is big this year, and it's going to be so fucking weird, especially when we're unconscious. But expect the unexpected, right? It's disappointing, but you sit with that disappointment. All right. So we have here chart. Let's see what happens. Again, hopefully it doesn't get closed or whatever. If it does, we'll find another way. If not, wah wah. Hmm. All right. All right, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on is your path because you were asking about um the path that you're in, like where you should be. Something's not working here. Hmm. Technology is being funny. Hmm. Okay, anyways, I'm going to close that markup. So, uh, with you, I need to show you what's going on. This is also for my channel, so I don't know if you could see that one. Or maybe it's just not registering. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so this one's a south node. So what you're used to doing is, I'm actually going to close this one for now. I'm going to open the other files that I have because I need to see the files. This is my cheat sheet. Okay, so Metis, try it again. Metis, whatever the fuck you say. Internally, I'm kind of upset still, just to be honest with you guys. Um, Pardon it, it's not really appropriate for the video, but I've always believed in honesty in all aspects of life. It's one of those energies I'm feeling today. It's um, very strong right now. I can feel it. So, Metis is internal mental physiological intelligence, right? Um, he's the one who basically said that it's, oh, I didn't finish it. Goodness sakes. She's the one, what is it? She's the one who was advisor to, yeah, she was a counselor to Zeus. And she was always about the counseling, but she was like an oracle at the same time. I believe she's also oracular. Um, she's the one, she rules many things, but basically in the past life, you were, um, I mean, the things that you brought from your past life is that you were prudent, quite prudent. So you're very much like that. You kind of hide back and kind of just wait. You only give counsel usually when you when you're asked for it. It's like there's a part of you that holds back. Okay, so but possibly you also get tricked. So you get kind of maybe feels like maybe you get used or you get tricked. Um, but through that, you kind of are prudent. You're very like you take your time, you bide your time, you kind of see when is the right timing to kind of. There's an inner wisdom about you, right? And so, but that also means that you are loyal. You naturally know how to be loyal, but at the same time, you also you have amphitrite here. You can't really see the thing because I can't open the file. You know what it is. Maybe if I do this. No, nope, nope. Uh, okay. So we're in this box right here. Um, okay. Anyway, um, I close that one. It's not working anyways. So we have amphitrite here, Metis amphitrite, Veronia. Amphitrite was about wanting to have freedom. Like she was kind of like in her territory. She didn't want Poseidon to be, she was kind of chased by Poseidon, but she was like, no, what are you doing in my kingdom? She's very queenly. She's very like, this is my place. So she's kind of like Artemis, where she wants to be like on her own. Um, so you're kind of used to that. So you have a lot of pride in it. You have a lot of wisdom in sort of just biding your time, kind of just observing things from a very kind of like childlike perspective, just kind of just going through the moment, being in the moment, being inspired through guidance as well. You kind of get that from the Leo side here. Um, Ignore the green ones here because this one was for June 5. Those are the transits. So, or those are the progressions rather. I'm not including that in your reading today. I'm just going to go basic into your chart because I don't know. I just a lot. I'm just busy. So, but Feronia is another one here. So she's about transformations and autonomy and altruism. She's the one who's Feronia was the goddess of like nature. She's in Roman mythology. She was the one who helped people. She's kind of like what's his name? Prometheus. Right. So she rules forests, fires, farmsteads, orchards, all those kind of things with people. Domestication, really, but very natural way of going about it. Do you have this sort of natural thing about you? You want things to be autonomous and real. Um, and then you also have Edge and whatever name was Edge. What is that? Edgeria. Prophecies. So you have like sacred knowledge. Basically, you have kind of like again, it comes back down to the purity thing. Um, you're used to being an advisor, used to being like counseling people. That kind of ties in a lot with a bit of Feronia, but also like Metis. Amphitrite is the one I was talking about before because Amphitrite is really about freedom to be your own person in terms of love, but it's a lot to do with like your own autonomy. So a lot of it is autonomy. But Igla is also here, but Igla is not has nothing to do with any of those things. Igla is about healing powers. Igla is health and beauty. Um, so and you're so used to that. So you must have been like, um, I don't know if you're used to, I don't know if you still do it now, but you're probably in some sort of medical field, any sort of health related stuff or beauty related things. Um, but yeah, it's all about beautification, beauty and things. Um, Radiant beauty, those kind of things, attraction, magnetism. So it's kind of shows in the Leo placement here of the planets too. It's very much like I like to be seen, I like to be independent as well, be different, right? Then you have the Dejanira, sounds like déjeuner, like the French. Impose and toxic love and or marriages. So her story was that she was a man destroyer apparently. She was wife to Hercules. She didn't realize that what she gave him was poison, so it killed him. It's a long story, but there's a passivity about it. So the Dejanira sort of thingy here is tied to metas, where you kind of just maybe sometimes you're used to sitting on the sidelines and being observant. Um, um, but what's happening is like you're being called to do something else. Right? This is your North Node. Um, so in the North Node, this is what I'm going to go more into. So you probably saw there earlier, Heimdall. Heimdall, and this isn't just like Heimdall, like from the movies, like what they show on TV and movies. It's not just that. He was about boundaries and changes and foreseeing things. So you might have this ability to see things from every point of view. Um, you are also you stand your ground, making sure things are you're guarding things. You're kind of like a sentinel. Like maybe sorry, I was gonna think bickering. My mind moves way too fast. Sometimes words will come out of my mouth and it'll just be like you'll be combined. It'll be kind of blended in with what I'm trying to say. So I'll try to slow down. um, he's all about going full circles. So he's about signs and warnings. So you can sort of you kind of your north node placement in is this south node? Oh, that was your south node. I'm sorry. So in the past, you were used to that. You're used to guarding things. My bad. So reverse what I said earlier. And this is part of the process, making mistakes and being vulnerable in video. And this is part of the whole process. So in the past, you were so used to that. You're so used to being kind of defensive, kind of putting boundaries, kind of letting you know kind of what to see. But you also have Hathor. Hathor, Hathor, Tezca, blah, blah, blah. So Hathor here is sexual creativity, impulses, and balance. So Hathor is basically like everywhere. So you're basically multi-talented. You can go anywhere you want. You can be anywhere you want. You have a lot of transmutational power. That's sexual power you have. And that kind of shows up in the Pisces energy. You're pretty much flexible. You're everywhere. But she was about child rearing. She was about protection. She was about nurturing, nourishment, multitasking, defense and defensiveness, temperament, wild and tame, nature versus nurture, self-control, form and formless, all-seeing, all-encompassing, life-giving. Uh, so you're probably used to that. So you probably were in a past life. Let's see what I got here. Got lots of information here. You probably were like any of the following: like a doctor, foster parent, gynecologist, sex therapist, marriage counselor, life coach, priestess, shaman, undertaker, mortician, international relations representative, ambassador, writer, coach, RT. So Hathor is that. So you're used to that. You're also used to that's what is that? That's what? Oh, that's not the right sheet. Uh, come on. Complacency and change. So you're probably used to things being the way they were. You're used to what do you call this? Probably having to work with chaos. Probably you were probably used to having to be forced to be awakened or like having to work through things that you knew and realization of it, but then there was a lot of chaos through it. Because Tezcatlipoca was the god of um he was called a night sky or something like the night god of night or something like that. So he's about duality. He's about the shadow, invisible, or the unknown and unknown visible. I wrote here. So you could also have been, I didn't write anything for that one, but you could also have been working through that, any sort of shadow stuff in the past. Probably already know that. It's probably obvious. But you also have Talia. And Talia is about joy and laughter. So she was the muse of humor. So in the past, you're probably used to, you know, showing humor, like being a comedian. Maybe you were a court jester. Maybe you were just all about laughing and joy and all that stuff. Um, and just going with the flow. But you also had Quetzalcoatl, 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 super long names. Uh, um, so you basically had this like all-knowing thing. You were kind of like in the moment. You were basically there and really it's kind of like your past life is tied to your career and you're probably linked to that. With it also being an Aquarius, you're used to being different and kind of like in service of others, and you're kind of forgetting to shine, right? But the goal here is, like I said here, when you follow your North Node, this is where you kind of get lucky. You have this part of fortune right here. I don't think I mentioned this before in our first reading, our first and only one. But it's yeah, there's you have to kind of be more in this case before. So your North Node, so 2 degrees, not in Aquarius, sorry, your South Node, not in Aquarius, was in Pisces. So used to kind of like doing things on your own and kind of just going with the flow of things and kind of being pacifist about it. A lot of illusions, delusions, fantasies, magic, those kind of things. Now it's time to bring yourself down to earth, be a little bit more technical. You can also be like a teacher. You could be a guide. You can be an informer. Anything to do with Virgo. Looking at the little things and being a little bit more detail oriented. And that's where things will start to come through. You do kind of have this. I didn't finish this. There's this thing you say, Cernu, this thingy right there. I'm going to go through that later. Again, just to let you know, not again, but for this one, this reading, this is not enough. It's not going to be enough. I feel pressured right now to read this because it's I don't know what it is. I'm getting distracted by the fact that it's like I can't record this completely. There's like a time limit. I thought I had more time. I don't know, this is so weird. Anyways, I get very distracted like that and I get obsessive. So, but anyways, the point is to kind of now to kind of see yourself more in the service of the world, where it's tied in a lot with being natural, finding your own place, and working on possibly like maybe something to do with beauty, something to do with the beautification of nature, something to do with getting in touch more with nature, natural things, natural beauty, natural autonomy, natural wisdom, and but at the same time, what do you call this? Um, working through the what do you call this? Kind of like finding your own, still sticking to finding your own autonomy, but working with people, being of service. So that word it just has a lot to do with people, relating with other people, kind of realizing that it's like, okay, you can still be yourself, you can still be independent, but now it's time to kind of share that with other people. And also, it's okay to be, you know, having a lot of beliefs and philosophical or having a lot of like mysticism in your life, a lot of being kind of maybe it could be you have that mysticism side of you, the Pisces energy that you kind of want to take towards this life. You want to be able to offer what you can and make sure that I don't know, it's something to do with helping people find their own autonomy. But again, it's tied to beauty. I see it here as with Agla, tied in with De Janeiro, which is like nature. Feronia's nature, so De Janeiro. Oh, De Janeiro was kind of being conscious in this case. Sorry, De Janeiro is about consciousness, being conscious about that, but also being kind of like um, being in touch with what is like the little things you have, being grateful for those things. As Midas, then you have this golden touch. Midas has a golden touch, but Midas was more than just a golden touch. Midas was about consciousness and satisfaction, right? So satisfaction of inner wealth, the wealth of the little things. So could also be tied to something like maybe gold as well. Something golden, may not necessarily gold itself, but it could also be like exotic things as well. Alchemy, that could be part of that as well. So trying to twist things into making, alchemy has a lot to do with it, I would say. Tied into Feronia as well, because Feronia was the one who transforms nature, like when she ruled wildfires, and she kind of, how wildfires destroy things, right? But it kind of brings about new life. So regeneration, transformation, transmutation, alchemy. So alchemical transformations, as what I would say. So a lot to do also with traveling. Okay, so she's also about, but again, also agriculture is part of that harvest, maybe growing fruits, vegetables. You get the point. Domestication, animals, so maybe something to do with permaculture farming. It's very natural. I like permaculture. I love that. It doesn't have to be like that, but it could also be something related to that. It could be something to do with farming, forests, vegetation, um, along with people as well. So Peroni represents people and commoners. Amphitrite, I want to go into that as well. It's also being kind of a game changer. Like she rules like erosions, coastal erosions, because she's about freedom and sovereignty, but also remaining like chaste and like a virgin. So possibly something to do with nature and like global warming, probably going back to things that are natural and the freedom from that. Return to natural autonomy. But you also have their mentis, right? So being a kind of like a counselor or advisor in that case, some sort of teacher, counselor, advisor, you know, and looking at the little details and working through those. So, but you do have challenges with communicating your truth because sometimes when you express your truth, when you speak, right here, you have Mercury in Sagittarius, so it has a lot of wisdom coming through. What happens is Sagittarius tends to exaggerate, but not exactly. Let that exaggeration to kind of be kind of your pull. It's pulling out these planets and it's pulling at your south node and your north node. It's the one that's pulling at it. So it's all about learning how to communicate and working with that honesty and that bluntness of it. Um, and being kind of just working with that fire energy. It's in fire, Sagittarius. But also has a lot to do with it's in the fifth house, so a lot to do with sports. So anything physical activity. I would say also foreign stuff, maybe languages as well. So maybe you're. This is probably why you're being called. You said you were being called to move. Um, and so what do you call this? So it's kind of that something to do with foreign work, right? So that's probably why you're being called to go into moving to a different place. As to what that place is, we don't know. We'll have to set up a session with me where you actually uh we'll go through different places. I would say meditate on it first and then go through the process of seeing what comes up. Try automatic writing, see what comes up, right? Ask for it, set the intention and go like, where am I supposed to go? And then we'll go through that. Then we can also do, I'm using now a different tool now for what's called astrocartography, but also adding in what's called, what I would like to add as synastrocartography, which is combining relationship astrology with your relationship with moving to the place. See if it resonates with you on a more much deeper level instead of just like general, oh, you get this energy here, da 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 da. There are several ways to go about that, but we'll have to do a session for that one. But that's it for now. I don't know. That's all I can say. I can't really go into detail. I didn't really go through a lot of, I'm working with like like fucking like over 20, 25 asteroids right now that I need to refine because I've finished a lot, like over 50 already. I'm adding like about 20 more and I'm working with a lot of asteroids. So this is why it is taking a lot. So, but thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. Tack för din, hur säger man? Tack för din tålmoda. Yeah. So, anyways, I can't really speak Swedish right now. It's all about stuff in English. Okay. Tack så mycket. So, anyways, that was horrible Swedish. Um, yeah. So, if you have any questions, let me know. You know where to contact me. Anyways, that's it for now. Thanks. I'll see you guys later. And thanks for those who are watching. Um, this background, I don't know if you've already seen it. This is like where this guy lives. Kunz. I'm not going to say where he lives. Those who heard it, they heard it, but probably. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.